Yeah, but the
Bro,
thing
that is
is,
the pengiest cream of rice.
no, I didn't like it that much. The vanilla one's way nicer.
You're so Indian.
Yeah.
That is such an
Bro.
Indian thing to say.
Vanilla.
Bro, the vanilla cream of rice with the strawberries on the top here and some dark chocolate.
Giz fucking.
I forget. I'm not coached by Cuba. I don't eat fruit. Sorry, I don't. Is that like do you have to like? Do you get like the micronutrients? You have to get from each fruit, each berry. You have one strawberry, one blueberry, one antioxidant from here, one from there, one from there.
Right. Let me get these questions up.
So welcome back first. Welcome back all. Sorry we've been missing for a long time. Riz as usual, he's got a bedtime, so he's normally not allowed to stay awake this late. So that's why we've had.
Don't take my melatonin this time.
That's why we've had issues scheduling it. You had to put a permission slip in to stay awake past 9 o'clock for an hour.
But we are going to do our best to make sure we land and deliver these on a Thursday week.
Yeah, we're going to do them every Wednesday.
On a Wednesday. Put questions up. Riz will upload them hopefully on Thursday. I'm pretty sure he's got like 17 in the locker still, but he just denies it. But we'll
yeah.
Bro, listen, they're not relevant no more, innit? You have to be relevant post the shit.
Times. Yeah, it's
right,
all about Retitutide and fucking...
Right, what we're going to do then, we're just going to fight through questions, aren't we?
Yeah, let's do questions today.
Just because you've got loads, Riz. My Instagram's shit for some reason, so I only got a few.
Right. Testing GH4 in off-season, is MPP dead?
No, it's a stupid thing to say. Drugs are drugs. Yeah. Drugs are good, but they're as we've discussed, if you watched any of our previous podcasts, MPP just seems to be, or DECA in general, or Nandrolone just seems to be the most volatile with everybody. More so, isn't it weird?
At some point.
You go back, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, when we were getting into this, 10 years ago, Hilly, 20 years ago, when you were getting into this, it was Nandrolone, MPP, DECA. Now, every other person I speak to sends them absolutely sideways. Do you reckon that's just like herd mentality?
I think some of it's herd mentality. I think because other people say it, people presume it. Like I've had my mates before, they've started taking some Tren and they've read into it. And the day after they've done an injection, they're like, oh my God, I'm getting this side effect and I'm getting that side effect. And I'm like, motherfucker, you only injected that 6 hours ago. Don't be ridiculous. Yeah. The other thing is, though, people are, without a doubt, I think two things, looking for sides more and paying more attention to what's going on, and also aware of what is maybe a good thing and what they shouldn't be putting up with. Whereas in the past, it was just like, this is what builds muscle, fuck how I feel, let's just crack on. Yeah. Where I
think we're in a good spot in bodybuilding right now where we're trying to get really good performance with actually functioning.
Yes, without a doubt. Yeah. Oh. People are being much clever about it, but there is no doubt, and I don't think you'll find anybody that disputes this, an Nandrolone will build more muscle than any other drug if you can handle it.
Yeah.
On a milligram for milligram basis, 150 MPP will smokes 150 Primo or 150 Mast.
Yeah, easily.
Absolutely destroys it.
I'd argue you'd have to go, if you were 150 MPP on Nandrolone, you'd have to be 400, 500, or 600 of anything else to get
triple. Yeah, I would say triple, especially in the DHTs. I think Tren, you can argue. I think in terms of what you're trying to get out of the compound at a given time. I think EQ would be up there in terms of performance as well, but I think in terms of slapping on muscle strength and genuinely just growing as a human being, I think MPP is almost unbeatable.
EQ has got a lot more popular recently, especially I've been watching a lot of the, Andrew Berry has his own podcast now with Phil Viz.
But it's always been massive in America. Us UK people were the ones like RBC. You take it once, you're going to die. Like it's us. We created that kind of narrative in the UK.
It was just the people that we always mention in England, wasn't it? Everywhere else in the world loves EQ and always has done.
Yeah.
And
I'm just seeing it's trending a lot more even in the UK now.
Well, I was just going to say what's making me laugh is the amount of either my clients or people that follow us messaging me going, "Do you know what's outrageous today is that now people can't get Primo or Mast. Everybody's having to use EQ." And everybody that used to say to them, like, why do you use an EQ? Like, Primo Mast better. They're all like, do you know what it is? EQ is pretty fucking good now. Little Johnny, do you know Johnny and my client train with Johnny? So he trains with a group of lads and he was like, Hilly, they've been going on for ages. Oh, such and such as Primo Mast better, blah, blah, blah. And he said, and now I'm laughing because they're using EQ. And they're like, you might have been right, it's fucking, I feel mint on this and this is working and that's working.
My favourite one is when people send me their blood work, like local people, and they're like, why is my estrogen so low now? It's because EQ is actually good at controlling estrogen, Primo and fucking Mast.
Yeah. We seen what EQ did to my E2.
I know. It's not. It's weird. I know there's a genetic thing, isn't there? Apparently, there's a percentage of people that won't see that effect from EQ. But
It's very minimal. I mean, remember when I started working with AJ, he presumed, because my estrogen was in such a good spot, he presumed I must have been using an AI, because even he wasn't aware of how good equipoise could control estrogen in some people. Like, I had my bloods done the other day, remember the other week, my test level was at 250 nmol, right? And my estrogen was at 110 or 1.8. And that was only from 200 mg of equipoise and 500 mg of mastron. Madness. Like, barely
That's the
half.
only problem, though, isn't it? That's the only problem, that if you do run the EQ, like myself, and the E2 smashed, you feel like shit, man.
Sure.
Well,
That's not what we shoot for. Like, that's important. Everybody needs to understand. We don't aim for that. I make sure I offset it. The lower estrogen with higher test. Obviously, that's what we've always discussed. Like, that's why I keep the ratio at 2-1 with
Yeah,
me
but
and
bro,
another
but
my
bro,
client.
but bro, last time Hilly was running a
Yeah.
grammar test
Yeah.
and like 500 EQ, and it still crushed it.
And it just comes, well, look at that. My test was at what, 800, I think, 750, 800. And it just took that 200 mega test. EQ, if I'd have been doing what normal people do and doing 700 to 400, mine would have been in the gutter.
Yeah.
But it just goes back to what we always say. Put your drugs in, wait 6 weeks, give time for everything to balance out, give time for whatever drugs you're taking to work, your body to reach homeostasis, get your blood work done at that 6 to 7 week marker, and then you can adjust the ratio of your drugs based on what the drug is doing for you. Because, like Dex says, there is a small percentage of people that won't see anything from equipoise in terms of estrogen control. I'm yet to come across anybody, by the way, or maybe one person.
But what dawned upon me the other day? People use gear or anything like that, and they're like, "Where's the kicking? Where's the kicking, bruv? Your kicking should be in your mindset. You fucking baboon, yeah."
Oh,
Guys
it's
want
nonsense.
instant. That people want that instant oxy debo MPP sort of kick, bruv. People want that all the time. When's it gonna kick in, bruv? It's kicking in. Go train.
But if that's not
Go
placebo,
train.
like I say this all the time, like we know weight moves weight. And like those drugs that you're talking about there, even MPP, they are notorious for slamming a load of fluid on you. If you put that cycle in 2 weeks, you're 7 pounds up. We know that's not muscle. And if you think it is, you're retarded. That's all that is giving you that kind of, I don't know, strength or ability to move weight in the gym. But it ain't muscle. And I've always said this from day one. I'd rather not have that. It's the reason I'm not using Lantis as well. Like I'd rather look at myself in the mirror and understand I ain't losing 10 pounds anywhere the second I start dieting. Do you know what I mean? It's staying.
Bro, do you know what? I have to fully agree with you, bro. I think the before I would say full send everything, but now I'm like, you know what? I need to see what's happening. So
But when I push back up again, I will blast Lantis, by the way. I'm not saying Lantis is a bad, I will absolutely hammer the shit out of that stuff. But I'm just saying, it is kind of like where I'm at and coming down. I would always opt to try and keep Lantis in a little bit just for that false fullness, but I'd rather it just be gone and get a true understanding of what.
And not just that, we also have to bear in mind, even my first cycle, I've never had that holy motherfucker feeling I'm on steroids. I don't get a massive jump in strength. I don't get a massive jump in water retention. I don't get a massive jump in performance. I don't get a massive jump in sex drive. The only thing that I'm like, oh, I know I'm taking is Tren. And that's just because it makes me more impatient. My patience goes. But apart from that, some people just don't get this wow, I'm on gear sort of effect.
I get that, and I think like I get that wellness from food. Like you know those times like where you're flat and you put a cheat meal in and you you go to bed and you haven't overeaten, you're going to be bang on in the morning, and next day fluids in, you feel fucking excellent. And that's when I think people get confused with the combination of those things. Like Riz said, someone starts trying a little bit harder, nailing their fluid, nailing their diet, actually eating their meals, not just eating McDonald's 4 times a week. I think that combined effect is what gives people the illusion of that boot up the ass. I don't think it's the drugs.
No.
I think when I take the only anabolic that I actually feel quite instantly in a prep, you might not agree, but when I put Anavar in, I do think I feel the difference with that.
In training,
especially with like quite instant as well, like a fullness that you get that very 3D look on it.
I always say the same thing. Like if I put if I run orals, I run it pre-workout. Like when I get up in the morning, if I put that in as soon as I wake up and go to brush my teeth, I'll get a pump in my forearms and Anavars in every single time without fail. Like it's a really good drug. It's low toxicity, as we know, Anavar. But I think in terms of pump to negative impact on your body, I think it's unbeatable.
Yeah, I would agree. Next question.
It doesn't carry much fluid. Yeah, right. Going from men's physique to open, what compounds do I go? Kitchen sink protocol, absolutely not mine, bro.
It depends. Like, what do you look like? What have you taken already? Like, it's such a hot. So let's just say you're the usual men's physique guy who has already blasted all the compounds and done the kitchen sink thing, but realistically, what you haven't been able to do is eat food, which is why you fit within that category, or you look like you fit within that category.
Well,
I think it's
bro,
more of a case of dialing your nutrition and be able to make sure you can stomach food. And understand
nah,
when
bro,
people say off season's hard, this is eating a lot of food.
I don't know if he's being serious or not, but this lad has got a very good physique here. His name is Dean Nicholson. He's a PCA pro. He's got a fucking rig, I'll tell you that right now.
I've seen him before. He's mega, yeah.
Yeah, so he's already been thrown the kitchen sink here, I would assume, by the way that he looks.
Well,
And I
you
think with those
reckon?
people, it's a case of food.
Well, you never know, do you? But I wouldn't. I think looking at the drugs thing is the wrong first thing to be asking. For me, if you, because he's not on about jumping from men's physique to classic. He's on about jumping from men's physique to open. So, so firstly, you need to set your timelines and be like, right, I'm not going to rush this because he's got great shape, that kid. I'm going to take my time and I'm going to map things out. And what
Yeah,
he really,
Mega mind. He does look
yeah,
really good.
I think he will do. I don't think he's got a kitchen sink. I think he'll just do what he's doing.
I would focus on having a complete year of growth, and I would map your cycle out. And what I do with clients is, as both Deck and Miz know, find out what you can push that you can still eat on and feel good on. And then you want to just run it. I run it in phases, usually phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. And that way you can run a 22, 26, 28, 30-week growth phase, or cap it at 20, do an 8-week cruise, go again. But I would be wanting a year where you are doing all you can to be in a surplus for 95% of that year. So you want, the phrase I use to clients is, you want to be moving forward as much as possible and taking steps back as little as possible, and just focus on adding tissue.
No, but look, he has done classic before.
I think realistically as well, like if you pace it right from the get go, like if you're in good nick from the get go, and you pace it right, you, like Hilly said, you shouldn't really have to take a step back. And if I was planning a hefty year-long off season to move from, say, men's physique to open, I would make sure my drugs are starting very low, and that would all titrate and slide with food until, like Hilly said, I found kind of the breaking point where I start to feel a little bit shit. Drugs didn't stay there then, and it's a case of food. But it's just, to me, it's just making sure you understand. He's obviously a short guy. Those guys are very dense. You're going to need to eat a lot of food, kid.
Yeah. It's just spending as much of that, say you give yourself a year, you need to be having as many days as possible in a surplus and as few days as possible in a deficit. Because every day you're in a deficit, you're not adding any tissue on.
And
So
get
the
strong
more,
as shit.
yeah. And the more, and again, what I do with people is in the early stages, find what drugs you feel good on, find what training works, keep an eye on your pictures, what body parts are responding, what body parts aren't, and take your time, because we've all made this mistake of rushing growth. He's probably made the same mistake himself. Get too fat too quick, it just fucks everything up. Yes, everybody needs to get soft, but you want to get soft at the very, very end of that growth phase, softish.
If you have to.
If you have to.
Yeah.
And not get, the longer you can stay leaner for, the better your appetite is, the better you feel. It's not so much that you build more muscle when you're leaner, you just feel better in your body functions so you can do everything you need to keep building muscle.
Yeah.
Someone's asked, next question, simple one. Now with Cuba, has your training changed to a more low volume top back set style? Top and back off set style? Yes. And to people who don't know, this is sort of training I did back with Hilly when I first met Hilly, and the first 3 or 4 years I've gone back to everything I used to do.
Yeah.
So push pull legs off, upper lower off. That's what me and Hilly did years ago. It's a very similar approach.
Such a good way of splitting things as well, that.
As people would say, JP style, DC style, whatever, yeah. The training volume is very low, but that's because I know how to send it in a set.
Yeah.
Not just that, I think what Kuba does very well, and why he gets such good results with advanced clients, he micromanages what he wants you to do in the set. And you need clients like he has, like Riz, that are experienced enough in training and that are willing to follow what he wants you to do in the set, because it does matter. Do it, making sure that your form stays consistent, making sure that each rep is effective. Yes, for most people, it doesn't need to be like that. But the more accurate your training is, and for some people it does, the better it is. And unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but it takes a certain type of advanced person to be able to carry that out consecutively.
I
Especially
think
if you're a... Okay, Miss.
I think working with Cuba is like Marmite. You're either gonna get really fucking on really well.
Yeah.
There's no middle ground. No one joins Cuba's like it's okay. It's either, mate, that was really shit, or that was fucking sick. Because you're either his person or you're not. And I think people join him, and I think they can't handle the criticism or the feedback.
And they can't
And
do
that,
what he expects them to do.
yeah, if Cuba wants you to train a certain way, then you're paying him a premium price for premium service, bro. Yeah, Cuba wants videos all the time. People don't want to do that. He'll cuss your physique. He'll diss parts of your physique. He's trying to make you better.
And,
It's whether
and
you can handle that critique or not.
and not just that, me and Dex said this to Riz when we were discussing it, is that Riz has spent an awful lot of time being very willy-nilly, whether it was working with me or with the people. He wanted to do things his way, and there was always Riz's blend added to whatever he was being asked to be done.
100%.
And that was just because of the lifestyle and the space Riz was at, and he knows that. And me and Dex both said it'll go two ways. You'll either thrive off it and fly, or you'll hate it, which is exactly what Riz is saying. And he's thriving off it, and he's nailing it, and his physique looks better than it ever has done.
I will say one thing though, and I've said this to D as well. I give credit to Cuba big time, yeah. But the biggest thing is my mindset has just that after that day I spoke to you lads, it will switch on. Right, listen, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it now. Motherfucker's 31, yeah. I'm getting older, bro. I do it now, or I'd never do it.
And not just that, a big thing that goes back to what Riz was saying and what we were saying there. Riz has got himself in a position within his life where his schedule allows him to live as Kuba wants. His job and his income allows him to take everything Kuba wants him to take. He can afford to do that. He can follow a very advanced plan that requires a lot of advanced things, and that's health supplements, food types, to get the most out of it. It ain't no good looking at the results certain people get if you don't have the daily routine, the funds to afford it, and the lifestyle. Because if, like what Riz just said, if you can't do what someone wants you to do 100%, you're not even going to get 50% of the results, because their way works because of everything that's turning within it. It's like when I work with AJ. Once me and Charlotte separated and I had Aralina half the week, it was impossible for me to follow the plan exactly as he wanted it to do. So then I couldn't check in with him because I can't give him the information he needs to advance because I can't follow the fucking plan. So then it became a pointless experiment or a pointless relationship because I couldn't physically work how AJ needed me to work to get the result he knows he can get.
The thing as well is because I own a supplement brand, yeah, and I still find it very overwhelming. If Cuba wants me to take 4 curcumin a day, yeah, that to most people, bro, is a lot of dollar. That's like £32 every 12 days. But I get it at cost because it's my brand. I get MPS Max at trade because I can buy that at trade. So for me, you buying these things isn't that bad.
Yeah.
And having the routine where I can be like, right, I'm going from, and because I'm very active now, like boys, I work out like 14k steps every day. So for me, I'm in the perfect spot where I can eat, digest. Eating 6 meals a day, eat, digest. It's constant. Do you know what I mean? It's just that for him, it very much suits him where I am. But yeah, I have just literally gone back to what me and Hilly was doing 2018, 2019. Yeah.
I also think me and Riz can be retards in the gym in the sense of we understand how to train, but we'll happily full send another set or add some junk volume to chase a pump. And I think that's where
100%.
Cuba controlling that. You'd be like, you're only doing this, don't do anything more than that. I think that will return more progress than like any fancy split or any changes like that. It's just saying this is all you've got to do, this is all you can do, then get on to the next thing.
But
we'll reap massive rewards.
It takes someone with, I'm not saying I'm advanced or anything, but it takes somebody with experience to say, right, Riz, you've got 6 sets here. These sets have got to be perfect. They've got to be nailed, yeah? Bro, because most mans ain't taking 6 sets to pure destruction. You know what I mean, yeah? As in, send in 6 sets.
Yeah.
Most man's need 50 to stimulate.
And not just that as well. And although we joke like we did at the start of the podcast, is that Kuba is looking at people either going to bed on time, either getting up, either getting, you know, the little bit that a lot of people don't. And you have to be the type of person that is able to be like, I need to get 8 hours sleep. So I'm going to bed this. And if you've got a family and kids, and if you've got a business that you've got to get up for, like if you run a company and when you come home from work, you've got to sit and do your books, and then you've got to get up with your kid at a certain time, that ain't going to work. Whereas for Riz, if Kuba wants him to get 8 hours sleep, he can, all right, I will be in bed at that time, and I will be up in bed at that time. And that's the big bit people miss. And I say this all the time. They look at certain people getting results and they're like, I want that. And I'm like, can you do it's the same with Jordan. People used to go on about me all the time with Jordan. I'm like, listen, Jordan has designed his entire life to make sure every move he makes is optimal to grow muscle.
Yeah.
There's no point in trying to mimic him if you can't do every part of his day that he fucking does. If you can't do that, you can't do what he does or expect the results. It just doesn't work that way.
But do you remember what I said? What I've said before as well. Yeah, I have worked my arse off. Yeah, to be in this position where I can now do it with a little bit of less stress. When before, and I've said before, like Hilly's always said this: put the foundations in place, get this ready, get all these things in line to then send it, because you know if you send it and fuck up, you've still got that baseline. Yeah.
I've just said this to you. Sorry, go on, Deck.
It stops it becoming a chore as well. You don't suck the fun out of it that way. Like when you have everything else in line, you can enjoy what you originally fell in love with. It's just going in the gym, getting after it. And let's be realistic, all we want to see is progress. When that stalls, you fall out of love with it, stress from life takes over, and then you just start to, it becomes forced. And when it becomes forced, we've seen it time and time again with people all over social media. They just don't grow, they don't improve, or they knock on the head and say they've got an eating disorder.
And I've just replied to someone question on Jordan's forum there. He was only a young kid. He loves training and this stresses him out and he doesn't know what to do with his career. And my answer is probably different with Riz, but it's like I said to Riz probably over a decade ago when we met. For me, and it goes back to exactly what Deck's saying, if you've covered your bases and you've got a foundation and you've got a job and you've got a career and whatever it is, or you've got a good income, you can then buy whatever you need for bodybuilding. You can do whatever you need. You can support it without the stress. If you don't have those bases in line, unless you've got great genetics and you can get by with things not being perfect, all you're going to do is stress about being able to afford to pay for your food, pay for your drugs, pay for your coach. And it's that constant stress and not being able to do things at 100% will ruin exactly what Deck just says. It will suck the fun out of all of it.
I was saying as well to one of the lads there, Hilly, you've known me for 10 years, yeah? I went on my first holiday at fucking 26 with D to Tenerife.
Yeah.
And I got back after that and D got cancer. And after that, bro, I've been on like 2 or 3 holidays at max, yeah? I have not wasted any money. I've never had a wicked car. I've never had nothing flashy. I've always worn motherfuckers your fucking clothes, your old clothes, yeah? Until this day, I'm still like that because I was eating motherfucking tuna and prepping, yeah? When I couldn't afford it, guess what? I'd fucking rob it. So
the Polo is a sick whip, bro.
The Polo's still there, bro.
The Polo is rapid. That's the whip.
No, I actually jump in the Polo sometimes and I think to myself, Rod, you know what? I'm never going to sell this car until I go pick up my McLaren with it one day, yeah? Because I'm going to drive to the lot and they're going to say to me, oh, you're not buying shit. I'm going to be like, fuck you then, you pricks.
Fuck you.
No, yeah. I think it's, for me, at this time in my life,
the best move.
I don't have no kids, yeah, number one. That's a little bit easier. D's full-time at home with me running the business. I have a staff member who comes in every day. I can bodybuild with 10% stress. Do you know what I mean? And my brand is bodybuilding. My sponsors are bodybuilders.
Exactly.
Yeah, everything. Yeah.
Yeah, but I will give him credit where it's due, the knob.
Yeah, you look sick, mate. Honestly, you do. It's the best I've seen you in a long, long time.
And a big thing for what you're doing now, which we all struggle with, Kuba is very much about being patient, which a lot of people can't do. Everybody is focused on going up and coming down, which of course you've got to do. But Riz, since he started with Kuba, has just been sat. There's been very little changes. His training still is 2 changes. There's been no change to training. The drugs have been minimal. He's just been ticking boxes. And this is not a neg on anybody else, because we've all been like this, and I'm still like this, and Decker's still a little bit as well. We want to see things moving reasonably aggressively in one way and the other way, when actually sitting and being patient is just as a viable option, if not arguably better. The problem is, for a lot of us, and myself included, sitting and being patient is almost impossible.
Do you know the amount of times I felt like saying to bro, should we increase the sleep? Should we increase the sleep?
Yeah.
I'm like, just shut your mouth. Just shut your mouth. Got a question here. Most common digestive issues you come across, or ones you find most interesting? Most common digestive issues is fucking gluten, I think.
The most common issues I see are people trying to eat the wrong foods at the wrong times.
That's what I was
So
gonna say.
people will be in off season and they'll still be eating foods that they eat when they diet, which makes no sense. The foods that you eat when you diet are slow releasing foods to keep you full and sustain your energy. They sit in your stomach longer. People are then trying to push up eating oats or like just stuff that will sit a bit longer, and and that creates digestive stress and issues. You've got to start moving to foods that digest quicker and that get moved through. The most interesting thing for me, and I've been focused on people's digestion for probably about 15 years, is the fact that so there's not one issue. It's the fact that everybody is so different. It's almost impossible to understand. So like Wiz says, in general, if people say to me, your most common foods that people have issues with would be oats, eggs, dairy, Greek yogurt, stuff like that. They're your most common ones, right? And the most easy to digest stuff is white fish, chicken, turkey, oils, and rice. However, I've come across clients that are absolutely fine with sweet potato and oats, which are trigger foods for a lot of people, but can't eat fucking white rice or chicken or turkey, which makes no sense.
It's like, do you eat sweet potato and oats, yeah? Sound. Prawns, and she's sick.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for me, I often think the digestive issue comes from timing, and I've mentioned this before. Like Hilly said, at the start of those push-up periods, like I get those foods aligned from the get-go. I get those super slow digesting foods out, or the satiating foods out straight away. And what I don't do is I don't wait to the point where my digestion's fucked from volume of food before I start trying to
then change it.
Maybe the amount of people that message me and I say, you fucked it, you missed it, you need to just diet, quick rebound, go back now, you fucked it. Like, there's a point, let's say, I don't know, a quarter way through your push-up, where you should start making those adjustments to get high volume, low volume nutrition dense foods in, so that can carry you for the rest of your push. And like I've always mentioned to you boys, I always use honey to hide in my rice, all that sort of stuff. Like these little tips and tricks are really beneficial, and give the ability to elongate your off season. And I'm a man that can eat, and if I need to do that, 90% of those other people will need to do that much earlier than I do.
I think a common mistake a lot of people make is, and this is for all guys of all levels, yeah, they have an emotional attachment to certain foods.
Agreed.
Yeah. People, bro, I love oats, and I have as a child, yeah. But guess what? I can't digest them. So do you know what? I don't ever put them back in. People say stuff like, "Oh, but in a prep, I can eat them." No, bruv. It's still causing you inflammation. It's just because you're so hungry, your food's so low, the inflammation's still a little bit. But now you go into off season, you're still eating the same shit. Guess what, bruv? Stomach gone. Inflammation, I think, is a what's the word? We can eat oats once a week and be okay. We can eat oats motherfucking every day, and we get like an accumulative response.
Accumulation to compounded effect. It builds up over time.
Yeah, because really we know roughly to take gluten out of the system takes about 14 days, right? Yeah. These motherfuckers, they have a cheat meal. Oh yeah, bro, I was sick. My digestion was sound. All right, bro. Once you start doing it every 7 days, by the time it leaves, you put it back in. In. And I've been guilty of that myself.
We all have those as well. Is people think they're all right when they're not. The amount of people that have said to me like, "Oh, I've been eating oats for years. I get no problem with them." Whip out the cream of rice, and they're like, "Deck, fuck me, mate. My midsection's down with 2 inches. I feel fantastic. I don't feel sluggish, not tired." Like a lot of people, just because you eat it and can operate, doesn't mean it's digesting well and your body's happy with it.
And he's a real world example, just going back to what Dec was saying earlier, just so people get it. Instead of building your rice portions up to, say, 300 grams cooked or 100 grams of raw, and then adding in some sultanas, some rice cakes maybe, some honey or something, once your portion might get to 200 or 225, add the dense stuff in first.
Yeah.
And then once that's done, then go back to maybe building the rice portion up at the end. The goal, it's a hard thing to get your head round. But people all go at me, Hilly, I'm 8 weeks post show, I'm still hungry. I'm like, good. And then I'm like, we want to try and keep you hungry till you're 25 weeks post show. Because the moment you're not hungry, we're at the start of being fucked. But people are always chasing to get rid of the hunger signals, where actually you want to keep being hungry. If you can be hungry all off season, you've fucking nailed it. Because you keep
you'll grow.
Yeah.
And we all used to do this. You come out with your diet phase and you're starving and you're like, just want to build my food back up so I'm not hungry. You don't. You want to build your food back up so your food focus grows. If you're sat thinking about chocolate and sweet shit all the day, you need to get rid of that. But if you're like, fuck me, my meal's not for 45 minutes yet and I'm hungry, you want to keep that all of the time. If I live by, I try and make sure I'm hungry all of the time now. And once I'm not hungry for my meals, I'm thinking, maybe I should do a little bit. And the same with clients. Once they go, if a client says to me, I'm not hungry for my meals, but I'm all right. Once they come, I'm eating them. I'm sound. In general, once they start saying, oh, it's getting a bit difficult, I'm looking at maybe pulling things back. That obviously changes if you're like Adam and you're 310 pounds and we're trying to get to 320 pounds. At that stage, you need that much food. You're just not going to be hungry for your meals. It's just life. But outside of that, for most of us, we want to be trying to stay hungry for as long as possible.
Yeah.
I've got one reason why you sort your meal out. Because this is a new, nice topic one that everybody wants to fucking talk about that we can just briefly discuss. Where is it? Your thoughts on Retitutide. I've been hearing it's good.
I got
knew
three
it
of
was
them.
coming.
I got three of them.
Yeah. Things for health, it's small doses. So I'll go first and then I'll go and pee. For me, on paper, and from what everybody says, it sounds fantastic. Just the same as when the original version, the skinny pens came out, on paper they sounded fantastic. Now we're a year and a half, 2 years down the line, and people have got brittle bones, they've got digestive issues, they've got all things that are fucked up. This drug on paper sounds fantastic, may well have loads of benefits, but I am not keen on trying it until other people have run it for a year plus and we see if they run into any issues. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, I agree. The worrying thing I have, the two of the questions I've got, and please, if you ask me this question, don't be offended when I say this, is the two questions I've got in regards to this, they've both volunteered the information. They're new trainers using Retitutide. That is mental to me. Like, I think there's a place for it for extremely advanced users, and I think at the top end of bodybuilders coming out of a show, rebounded or potentially dieting, especially the last little bits, potentially there's use for it there. But these average Joe's people that just have no control over what they put in their mouth, I think it's the worst possible thing you could do. Like, it blows my mind because ultimately you're not building any skills, you're not learning any habits, you're not understanding
the importance of hunger,
balance, you're not understanding how to train, all this sort of stuff. Like, it has such a negative impact on everything you do it, and I think it has no place in this industry for new people. I think it does for extremely experienced and knowledgeable people. I think I would run it in a diet to see how it looks, how it works, and so I understand it. But like we said, with every other skinny pen we've seen before, look at the state of some of these individuals that have been using it. Their guts are destroyed, leaky bowels, brittle bones. There's a mad study. It was something like 12% of the total weight loss of 10 case studies was only body fat. The rest of it's fluid, glycogen, bone density, all this sort of stuff. It's your body just pulling like a vacuum all the time.
The thing with Retitutide is obviously it's supposed to be the most advanced version of them GLP things, yeah? I think it makes a lot of sense to use it, like you said, in the post-show. Because we all accept post-show is fucking hard. Post-show is harder than prep.
Mental warfare.
Post-show is the most hardest fucking part, yeah? And the worst thing is there is no actual change.
Yeah.
It's all that, the drive, the mindset.
Nothing to go
I think there it makes a lot of sense. I think it makes a lot of sense there. But other than that, I think people need to just man the fuck up a little bit.
The only thing that interests me about it is the influencers now who are using it and running the same caloric intake and the shift in body composition. That's interesting to me. So I'd have to make the assumption either their blood glucose is fucked anyway. But some of these people are not in terrible shape. Does that make sense? So it makes me think the GLP-1 agonist, or how advanced it is, it's doing something to body composition because the calorie intake is the same. They're using this and they're getting noticeably tighter much quicker. So I know it's not a thermogenic in any way or anything like that, but it obviously does something to cause fat loss. What that is, I don't know. I'd have to assume it's the mechanism of lowering blood glucose.
I've only watched a few things on it. It doesn't really interest me like other peptides or compounds would. Because I would never use it myself. I'd never say never, but I don't think my mental resilience is way better than that.
I enjoy being hungry. My brain works better when I'm hungry. And I have learned over the years to control not being a fat, greedy cunt like I used to be when I was younger, excuse my language. When I was younger, whether it was post-show on holiday, I would eat shit, I would binge. And it took me way too long, like it does most people, to learn that eating shit and binges, even in a diet or in an off-season, just makes you fat and makes you feel like shit. When I go on holiday now, all the food's I eat clean. I might have a slice of pizza or two. I don't really eat junk anymore. And some people will be like, "Wow, that sounds miserable." That's just because you haven't got there yet. It doesn't bother me at all. The clients of mine that are asking me about it are the ones that constantly struggle to stick to their diet, and they are the ones that are constantly eating shit, right? And yes, taking it will prevent that. The problem is you are not learning to prevent it. You are not changing your habits. So what is ruining your progress and making you a fat motherfucker now, the drug may stop it. Problem with that is, or the way it doesn't in line with what I see my job as, I try and work with people so that when we stop coaching, they can maintain their progress, whether it's in bodybuilding, we've learned what digests better for them, we've created a better physique, whether it's lifestyle clients, people with eating issues, digestive issues. And I was saying this to a client yesterday, my goal is that when we stop our work, you are in a position that you can comfortably maintain the physique we have created, that you like what you see in the mirror. If we've never got your body in a position where you're eating enough food to look good and feel good and perform good without cravings, because all we've done is use a drug to stop you craving, as soon as you stop the drug, you're just going to go back to eating shit and fucking look like shit, and it's going to spoil everything. So Dec explained it very wisely. It just doesn't make any sense to me unless you're a very advanced person and you're using it for a specific person. Yeah. If you just can't stop picking stuff up and putting shit in your mouth, it's no good for you, because it's only going to help you stop those bad habits while you're taking it. And the same with anything. Live off the fucker.
I think what a lot of men should do is, do your first show, see how hard it is post-show. Like most people do post-show, fuck up, put on 20, 30 pounds. When you feel like absolute utter shit, that feeling itself should put you off doing that ever again. You trust me, that shit.
The thing that I always say this, and people can argue with me all you want, but you're never going to get me to believe you. Those people that Hilly are talking about, they enjoy the satiation or emotional attachment of that meal than they do looking good. They might not think it in their brain. They think they're hardcore and they're in it. That it's more important, and that's fine. Like, if it's more important to you to have a pizza at home 3 times a week with your family or whatever, but look,
boys, while you finish it off,
okay, you just have to own that decision. What you can't do is then portray you're this hardcore mad bodybuilder that's in at 110%. But let's be realistic, like that Brandon Hardin. Every time you get into a tiny bit of condition, you have to sacrifice fucking Burger King or Pizza Hut. Do you know what I mean? People just need to own that. And like Kitty said, over time, we've all learned that I love a cheat meal more than the next one. I'm telling you that now. But I also know that I have a line, and I know how I'd rather feel in the morning rather than stuff in my face.
But I think some people ain't just about it, Deck.
No, mate,
they're not about it, but they want to be a part of the bodybuilding circle.
Yeah. Mate,
it's nothing, like me trying to do hockey.
Nothing deters me more at the moment than bodybuilders on social media. Like, even people we know, like, it's just all pretend. Like, there are people, like, I always love people like Kieran Driscoll, Sam Corio, all these sort of people, Joe Richardson, like it's like minimal content put out, but you know every time they update a photo they look leaner or bigger or better. But then you get other
Yeah.
people who are spamming 58 posts a day of utter nonsense, trying to get clients, trying to push a product, but they look exactly the same. Like I see straight through that shit, and it just makes me it's annoying because it makes me hate the thing that I love, which is training. Because I just don't want to associate myself with those people.
Yeah, but a lot of guys, bro, I think they just talk for the sake of talking, bro.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think the guys often who are struggling or doing shit competing wise, they've got to talk too much.
Yeah. But then all the people who are smashing it are the people who talk the least. They're not trying to be an authority in the sport. They're not trying to force their opinions on people. They just nailed their own sequence and they're just getting on with it and looking fucking sick. Then you get the other cunts who are posting 75 times a day saying you should be doing this, you shouldn't be doing that, this is how you train, this is what's your diet, this is the drugs you take. Saying other people look the exactly absolute same every single time they prep, or they try and prep, lose their marbles, and bail out of prep within 4 or 5 weeks and say they got an injury or their missus left them or something.
I don't think Retitutide has a place in bodybuilding except for the last 2 weeks, maximum 4 weeks, and post show.
And let's be realistic, that's only if you fucked prep. Like we all know, if you get it right, you can get to that last bit off without it. Now there is a time, let's say you just mispace something, your coach mispaces it, you just get a little bit wrong, you pull the achievements out a bit too late, you pull the high days out a bit too late. And I think in that case, yeah, by all means, the last 2 weeks, you're going to have to bury yourself. Hunger signal is going to kill you. It's not going to make training enjoyable. Clear might potentially use it at that point. But I don't think there's a place in it I don't think there's a place in it is a PED or a performance enhancing peptide. It doesn't make any sense to me.
No.
And also, if it's still just a blood glucose that you're looking for, because that's what everyone keeps talking about, bang insulin. What, just take insulin.
Take berberine if you need the insulin sensitivity. Go to the gym, do exercise. It's this insulin sensitivity thing, and I go on about it all the time. If you are in a decent body composition, you are eating healthily, your steps are above 10 to 12k, you do a bit of cardio, and if you actually train properly, not like a bitch, you are not insulin resistant, and you're never going to be. And that is like scientifically proven. To become insulin resistant, you have to eat shit, not move, and be fat, unless you've got a biomechanical issue going on. Yeah. So, there isn't just that worry. And again, yes, these drugs make sense for people with medical issues. And then, yes, they are an easy way to fix obesity in fat people that can't stop putting food in their mouth. But if you are hiring someone and using your hard-earned cash to help make you a better person, improve your look and your physique and your health and your mindset, then these drugs just make no sense to me. And again, that is because I used to have issues with food. I don't now, not like major issues with food, but on a weekend I would eat shit, and I've seen me, right, well, we all had this mindset at one point of, right, I've got a cheat meal. So I would eat something. Then I would drive to the garage and then Mackie D's, and you start because you can for the night, you go and you eat loads of shit, and then you start finding Skip Hill and other justifications for eating and carb backloading and finding ways. And those aren't bad things, right? They're just part of evolving and part of trying to find ways of eating shit until you come to the understanding and realization. If you want to look good year round, you can't eat shit on a regular basis unless you're those, like, my mate Gaz Wilson. Yeah. That kid, right? He's just got mega genetics. He's one of my best mates. We're like family. I've prepped him for all his shows. He's got a better trophy cabinet than probably fucking anybody we know, and he's only fucking done bodybuilding for like 3 years of his entire life. I've seen that kid be on holiday with me and eat donuts for more fucking breakfast, dinner, and tea while I'm eating fucking eggs on toast, and the kid just looked better every day while I got worse. Yeah. Some people like that genetically just can get away with stuff. For the rest of us, we can't, and you've just got to fucking accept it. And then it goes back to what Dex said. You've either got to accept food's just food to a point, and you can only eat certain stuff because you want to look good more, or actually the truth is you enjoy the shitty food more than you enjoy looking good, and it is what it is. Stop bitching and moaning about it.
It's like what you said about digestion, though, but nobody's the same. Nobody's the same as well in terms of how your body responds to food and how it looks. And if you master that skill for your own, not being able to coach other people, I'm talking about your own self, the way you look, you understand how to manipulate your physique, when you're overeating, when you're undereating, how much fluid you need, where sodium needs to be, if you're running super flat, if you're getting weak, all this sort of stuff. That's a skill that you'll take with you for the rest of your life. Imagine being 45, 50, and you pig out with your missus on an anniversary night. You know, when you get up in the morning, got to do a little bit more cardio, pull carbs a little bit. That is a skill that you can maintain to always look your best and feel confident in yourself. Things like Retitutide just remove that need to learn that skill.
Yeah, it's like me now. I've got a load of tissue, but I've got a decent amount of muscle tissue. I can run a millitest and a milliprimo, and I don't need any clen. I can do cardio half the week because I've got only the half the week, and I know how to manipulate my food, and my body functions in a certain way. I was in pretty damn good fucking shape in Ibiza. I've got some pictures where I look fucking mega. I'm definitely sort of 9-10% body fat, a legit one, not what people pretend.
Not a fake one.
I was only doing cardio 3 or 4 days of the week because Irene gets up at 5 or 6 and I can't do cardio. Steps to 10 or 12K, I was still having a couple of glasses of wine or a drink or more with Sarah once a week or every other week, but there was no real shit eating, and I looked just as good when I came back from 7 days all-inclusive in fucking Egypt, or 7 days all-inclusive with the kids in Tenerife, or 3 days in Ibiza with the lads, or 4 days in Ibiza with Sarah. My look didn't really change.
I think some people need to accept, right, not everyone has very strong willpower, yeah? And that's okay. That's okay, yeah? So if you're that person and you know you've not got the willpower, for you, cheat meals ain't going to work. Cheat days ain't going to work. You need to just have a little bit of something that you like every day, whether that be a Mars bar every day as your treat, and you just carry on moving forward. So like JP said back in the day, yeah, he goes, yo, if you got the fucking Mars bar in every single day in off season, carry it the whole fucking way through until you have to really, really pull it out, yeah? I think he said something like that, fuck knows where, yeah? But it's the analogy of, you can't handle it, just have one treat every day, know that you're going to nail the rest of the day for that one treat.
Or it's like that says, though, that you can develop the skill, you can build your willpower with the skill, and that's where the Retitutide takes away from that.
No, but Hilly, I'm going to be straight, bro. Not everyone's got it, bro.
Not everybody wants to either, which I know is not what you're saying, but I'm just saying it's something that you can work on as well. Just because you don't have something doesn't mean you can't get it.
And if you don't like food, it's the whole point of understanding energy balance and nutrients and being able to read macros and stuff. Like my last meal, I'll sit there most nights and say to Daisy, I'd rather this over a cheat meal. And all it is 200 grams of chicken mince, 2 bagel thins, a half a slice of dairy light cheese in each one, and 200 grams of those low-fat frozen chips. Mate, you cook it properly, it tastes like a fucking cheat meal, but it's absolutely bang on macronutrient-wise. I can use it all the way through my diet. It's satiating. I don't feel the need to go to McDonald's or Burger King and stuff. It's just people are just lazy bastards when it comes to understanding it and wanting to master that skill.
Even when I was doing my own thing about 12 weeks ago, I remember Mr. Hilly, I was like, yo, I'm having my off plan. He goes, what you having? I goes, bro, I'm just having oven chips, which I have every night.
Yep.
I have sourdough bread every night with that meal. All I'm going to do today is have these oven chips, but not weigh them.
Yep.
I'm going to have sourdough bread, but as much as I want. And I'm going to have chicken breast, which I have every day.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to weigh them.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do.
And chuck a bit more sauce on it, or a bit of cheese, or whatever suits your fancy, and that should be enough.
But I think people need to understand you. I think a lot of people need to understand this. Listen, this game is not for everyone, man. Some people just can't do it. They've not got the minerals. And that's not just for bodybuilding. That's for all walks in life that they do. They're happy to just coast and hit 60%, and they're happy, and that's fine.
I've got 2 quick questions to rattle off here. How lean do you like your clients before starting a push-up phase? I like to get clients as lean as they are willing to get, because in my opinion, the leaner that you can start at, the longer the growth phase will be, the more you'll enjoy being in it, because you'll look better while you grow and the better you'll feel. So I'll usually push down until either performance dips, food focus is too high, or the client is just generally sick of dieting. And those 3 things are each as important as the other. If food focus becomes too high, it's becoming unhealthy, because if there's no show, whatnot. If performance is dipping, it makes no sense, because you're risking losing muscle when there's no show worth, the juice isn't worth the squeeze, so to speak. And sometimes clients are just like, Hilly, I'm sick of fucking dieting, so there's no point in trying to make them diet, because they're hiring me to enjoy the process. Everybody has that benchmark of sometimes they've just been dieting long enough. So those 3 things. But ideally, as lean as you can get before you be unhappy.
I think it's always best to catch it before that, where you know they're going to tip, and if they tip, we're going to regress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can't catch that.
there's also and you learn it with clients that you have like good tenure with, you have with you for a long time. Like that, you kind of have to be able. For me, I have to be able to cut through the bullshit. Does that make sense? Like you get those clients like, oh, that, or you see on the Instagram they start posting like fucking ribs and burgers, or like they're making mad shit with their cream rice and stuff, and you're like, mate, you're still fat. Like
Yeah.
this is not acceptable. But then
Sometimes it needs to be told.
the second time, the third time you diet him around, like my client Dom, it's the same situation. Like the first time around, he wanted mad cheat meals, binging every weekend when he was still fat, and then this time around, watching his like social media and stuff, and that hunger is signal. I can see it through his social media. He's posting food every weekend. He's going out, or he's making mad shit with cream and rice. He's leaving little comments in his check-ins like, oh, a squares bar would be really nice on top of this. And at that point, I understand it's real now. That's legit. So at that point, I get to that stage, put him straight back out, and then grow. But ultimately,
that is one thing, bro. That's one thing I will fucking say. Yeah, never have I worked with a coach in a prep and ever asked. I never ever said, "Oh, bro, a squares bar would be good." If anything, he'd say to me, "We need to eat," and I'd be like, "Are you fucking sure, mate?"
I've never changed anything Hilly ever put in a plan. I just ate what he told me to eat and just carried on. But again, I think that generation is dead. I don't believe that generation exists anymore in this game. I don't.
But if I was in prep with Hilly, I'd say, "All right, mate, check in, sound." I'd get to the point. I'd be, "Listen, mate, everything's sweet. Send it." And if I was really fucking tired, but Hilly, mate, I'm sound to carry on digging. I feel a little bit tired, mate. Let me know what the score is.
It's very rare now I have clients. I mean, I'm quite lucky. I attract clients like yourselves because of the podcast and because people know me. So I am lucky with that. But it is, you get some people now and they're like, can I have this instead and can I have that instead? And instantly I'm like, you can, yes. But if I thought that was the best way to get you where you want to be, I would have included those foods. And you've paid me to do the best possible thing. There's just also those clients that are like, I just need them. It's go back to what we said. I need these foods in, and that's fine. But I always put a thing of, yes, we can do it that way, but it isn't going to be the most optimal is the only complex technical little shit word I like to use. It isn't the most ideal way to get where we want to be. But yeah, like I always know when I've got a good client when we start, send them the plan and they're like, sound. I had a consult with a kid the other day and he was like, loads of digestive problems, banging the bodybuilding. And he was like, Hilly, I know you're big on taking everything in. He said, but I just want a caveat. I've followed you for a long time, wanted to work with you for a long time. I know you're great at all of this and everything else. No matter what I've said in my form, whatever you think is best, just put that fucker on paper and I'm good with it. That, and those comments there, I know we're going to make loads of progress because he's good with it. And I will say to clients that when I feel it's right and it's needed, I'll be like, by the way, are you sick of any foods yet? Is there any food you would like to work in?
I remember those emails.
Yeah, I will ask because there is the time to start building in other foods. Once we've got the important part done, there is the right time to be like, we've been at this a while now. What foods are you missing? Is there stuff? And this is not me being like Ginny the pizza every week. It's like, is there foods that you like? Do you know what it is? I'd love it if that was a wrap instead of rice. Right, let's put that fucker in and see if your digestion holds up. Let's, and all of that is in my mind to do so at the right time. It's when people are like, oh, can I do this? Can I do that? Can I do that? And I'm like, oh, it's going to be a nightmare.
Yeah. But it's like when I joined Cuba this time, I said to him, I only have one ask, mate, yeah? These are my foods that I can eat. Here's the list, yeah? I will not try anything different because I know what works, as in food-wise, yeah? I Hilly about it, goes, that's all I want. I can eat these 30 foods. I'm not willing to try bagels. I don't want to try square bars. I don't want to try nut butters. I want to eat these. He took them and he went, right, that's what he's saying digests. I will fucking stick to that.
Yeah.
And literally from that day, we have not deterred one thing, yeah? The only thing I asked him to change was, I goes, mate, can we change one chicken meal for bassa? And he goes, I don't really want you eating bassa. Can we do something else? I go, should we do prawns? And he went, sweet, perfect, done. But it wasn't like I was saying, oh, can I have something? I actually want to say something as well. Do you know my bloods came out really good, yeah? Hilly, I was eating motherfucking sea bass twice a day for 16 weeks, yeah? And I actually looked back at the pack the other day of a sea bass pack, and there's like 1,000 mgs of fucking omegas in it, yeah?
Yeah.
Really high EPA, really high DHA. And I thought, fuck me. I've been eating sea bass, I've been eating salmon, I've been eating prawns, I've been eating basa, I've been eating chicken, no real red meat, yeah? No eggs either. They don't really digest very well. And has that played a role in my cholesterol getting better? And I
Of course,
thought
100%.
maybe.
Definitely. I've said this multiple times, if I won the lottery or I justified spending the money, I would just live off fish because it digests better, the fat sources are better, and I do believe, like with anything, and every supplement owner that has anything about him will say the same thing. What you get from food, in essence, will do more for your body than what you get in supplements.
Destroys any food, bro. But destroys any supplement. I mean, sea bass is not even that expensive. It's like £3 a pack.
The thing is with me with fish, and I stay away from it, is I know I always like the idea of it at the time, and I know that runs out for me in a short period of time. Does that make sense? Like I'm happy eating the same foods there. I'm autistic as fuck, but like for me, fish, I know I'll be like, oh, I fancy that now. Then I think, yeah, but in 4 months' time, I'm gonna want to go back to chicken, so I'll just keep eating chicken mince. You know what I mean, that's what I do.
Salmon, sea bass, prawns, I could eat repetitively.
Yeah.
Cod, whitefish, not.
No.
He put cod in my meal for a bit. That's what he put cod in, yeah? I goes, bruv, can you please change your cod for basa? And I think he's probably thinking, why the fuck does he want shitty basa? Because basa actually tastes nice. Cod, I can't get it right.
Like that meat, yeah, it's hard to cook well, and it's got that like meaty fishiness to it with that hasn't got the nice taste like salmon.
It's got that thick taste, man.
If I go to an Indian and they've cooked it in spices on that char grill and that cod's mega, but I can't do it like that. Yeah. I've got one more quick one. Best way to work out calories to gain weight, lose weight without using an online calculator. So I'll give you the simplest one I've always used. Dead simple, and it's pretty much scientifically based as well. Roughly, and to bear in mind, it is impossible for anybody, no online calculator, no body machine, plug yourself into anything. No one can tell you exactly what your maintenance is, so what you need to go up or down. So what I tend to do with people, the main simple number is your body weight times 15 should be maintenance, right? Now, I usually find for a lot of people that puts them a little bit in a surplus initially.
Body weight, what, in pounds?
Yeah, body weight in pounds times 15, right? That was always the
equals total caloric intake.
Yeah,
that's the standard metric. The shit calculators we use. Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on. What's that again, Hilly?
So if you're 200 times 15.
Oh, okay, 3,000
yeah.
calories.
So if and that's what they would tell you if you did a sports course at uni or college and yada yada yada.
Yeah, that's not a million miles off for me. That's probably about right. Like I think around 4,250, 4,500 would be about my maintenance.
It's pretty damn accurate, right? What I'll normally do with people, I'll go body weight times 12 first, because if it's an advanced bodybuilder, their body is running more efficiently. If it's a lifestyle client, they haven't been following a meal plan, they haven't maybe been doing exercise, the body composition might not be great, you could presume that their metabolism, their body isn't running optimally. So what I will normally do is start people at 12, whether they want to lose weight or that, whether they want to lose weight or gain weight, run that for 2 weeks, see what the body does, and then I'll titrate up or down. The other thing is, if someone comes to me with a lot of weight to lose and the body fat is high, I'll just go body weight times 10.
Yeah.
And if someone's pretty obese and they need to drop weight pretty sharpish, I'll go on the lower side and then give them bring in high days. But in general, no matter what anybody wants to do, I'll usually go in around body weight times 12 and then see what happens after a week, see what happens after 2 weeks, and then I'll either go up or down depending on what we need to do.
Bro, I've always found, this is what I learned from Hilly, because when I joined Hilly back in the days, I joined him and straight away put my food up straight away. So whenever anyone joins me, I don't really coach anymore, yeah? I will put the food up straight away.
Yeah, I'd say 90% of my clients are under eating and eating poor food choices.
Yes. I always like to bump up the food. I've always liked fruit across the meals anyway, yeah? And I'll quickly bump up the fruit in all the meals that I got them in, and I'll bump the cream rice up a little bit as well.
Yeah.
And increase the fats from oil so we can easily pull them out, and they don't really
mine's the protein's the one. Protein's the one I always ramp up for the clients, and I build around that. Like I'll do 1.5 grams of protein per a guesstimate 1 pound of lean body weight, like how I see their physique. And then I always stick it, because I don't do total calories, and I'll stick it, I have 3 metrics basically based on how sedentary they are at work. I have a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, which is 2, 4, 600 grams of carb. I'll stick it 65 grams of fat for everybody, and then I just cycle those carbs up and down. Like nothing changes from my perspective. It's as simple as that.
I'll tell you what, yeah, boys. I don't normally eat these, but they're on my desk. Probably got like 3 grams of sugar in them, but yeah.
I'm telling Cuba, bro. No, I don't need that shit. That Turbo Dreams, bro. I'm telling you now, mate. The dreams that shit gives me is wild.
I normally take the melatonin about 90 minutes before bed, but obviously today's going to be a late one, yeah. And I take all my I take for anyone watching, we don't even sell it under engineered. We sell Stroms, yeah. Glycine, 10 grams before bed.
I see
Let
you.
me know if you try that. But I swear to God, Deck, no fucking bullshit, bro. Yeah, we don't even fucking make it, and I'm bigging it up. It is fucking sick. It's £15 a tub. Lasts most people 50 servings.
What's this? Sorry.
Glycine.
Yeah.
What does it do?
I don't know what the fuck it does. But all I do know is it
What does it do
works
for you?
alongside the glutathione cycle. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
To obviously make that work more efficiently with NAC whatnot, but
Yeah.
it also helps sleep. So I banged 5 grams and I got a really good sleep. And I thought, well, let me bang 8, and I got better sleep. And I thought, fuck it, let me bang 10. Yeah, 10 grams of glycine, melatonin about 90 minutes before. Take all my health subs with it, bro. My sleep has been fucking brilliant.
I
It
noticed a
almost
big improvement
offsets.
on like well-being from that resveratrol. Like I just felt
Yes,
better on it. Like I feel less toxic, just less. I just feel better on it.
People
that's
have
a
been
very, very
people have been using it
underestimated.
for an awful long period of time.
Yeah.
It seems to go in and out of fashion, but it's a
Yeah.
very good health supplement.
Hilly, it's mad because no other sub company does it by itself.
No,
Yeah.
I think we were the first people to do it because it's so expensive to make.
it was popular for a long time in America on professional muscle, the old bodybuilding board that was super popular. Every man and the dog were taking it on there.
Yeah.
As soon as anybody came to reserve for all the fucking time, they were big on it in America.
Do you know what is with health subs? We actually have done better on health subs than any other ranger. I'm not surprised, but I am.
I'm not
Because some
surprised.
of
Not
them,
not not in this, and I think it's a great movement for like the industry. I'm not surprised. I think people truly understand the value. And let's be realistic. I do think it's because people want to bang drugs harder. I don't think it's because everyone's got this like glimmer of hope that they're going to retire really healthy and all this sort of stuff and extend their life. I think it's a case of I think we now understand to. I think we have people who are less better or built for bodybuilding and training to be a big human being. I think they need to offset that with drugs because they don't train that fucking hard or eat that hard. And I think to do that, they also need the health supplements. So I think the health supplements is the shortcut to buying the drugs rather than actually doing setting the foundations like we discussed earlier.
because I was talking to Rick at Strong, I goes, Rick, I'm really surprised how good our health range is doing, yeah? The whole defense range, bro, is our bestseller, yeah?
Yeah.
I sold out a cardiac. We've got the liver one coming. He goes, Rick, because I went to him, I thought the pre-workouts, you know, the hypey products.
Yeah.
He goes, Riz, people initially buy them. Once you get them right and they have your trust, because if you can formulate a pre-right, strategically, especially with we've done everything, where it's very like, nothing's going to mash you up,
Yeah.
it's clean. People then trust your brand, and all of my stuff genuinely is sick.
Yeah.
But anyways, fuck that. Got a question here. Easy answer. Mass shortage alternatives for off season. EQ. What frequency do you all train your midsection, and what has given you all the best results? Thank you.
Every day, every training day I train my abs, and I've seen massive improvements in my midsection since I kind of like knocked on the head. I've in the past year I've seen massive improvement in my ab development. That's just training I don't do anything mental. I do heavy, like as a compound, heavy cable crunches, and then I'll do a superset of leg raises, knees to chin, a roll out thing with one of those little rollers, and then I do like the thing where you lie down with your legs and I shift them side to side. So it's like really low to the floor. Destroys me. I do
window wipers.
Yeah, and I'm done. I'm out.
Same for me. I've always trained man, or I used to train man very often indeed. And I'm not a fan of doing heavy stuff for abs anymore. And I also prefer people, if they can, to do it on an emptier stomach. So either at the start of the workout or a post cardio. I just think it gives you a better ab contraction. But for me, I would rather somebody do 1 or 2 exercises 3, 4, 5 times of the week, or even say, so when I'm on prep, I'll train them every day. I'll do cardio and then I'll do, say, hanging leg raises one time, crunches the next, and I'll just do some every day. But for me, abs frequency is king.
Yep.
I have the what's that thing I have in my garage, that leg raise thing. The hanging leg raise.
Yeah, hanging leg raise. Yeah. Awesome.
I have that with the beach ball thing behind my
They're
back.
really
Yeah?
good if you're good at using them and not using your hip flexors. It took me
Yeah.
ages
Yeah.
to learn that properly. Like I was really bad at that, and I was just kicking my hip flexors up with it. It took me ages to get that right.
Every morning I will do like a set of leg raise, and on that twisty thing's sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do that until it starts to hurt. Yeah. And every day after the gym, I will do like that machine that you pick your knees up,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like a
the
weighted.
ab
Yeah.
coaster thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Atlantis one. I do one set of that. I do one set of rope crunch, not heavy, but I always focus on when I'm here. I'll go.
Yeah.
Breathe out. Yeah.
I blow it out as I contract.
The
I also
mistake.
caveat this as well. If you've got a bigger midsection or well-developed abs, I wouldn't do weighted. I've got a child's like my midsection is very underdeveloped. That's why I do weighted stuff because it needs more muscle.
The mistake I think people make is when they're training abs. Do you know when you see a decline bench ab, right? They come all the way up to where the knees are, and that's not working your abs. That's working your iliac and your psoas.
Yeah.
It's working those flexors that sit behind your ab wall. An actual crunch is literally just that.
Yeah. It's
You literally go from here.
spine flexion. That's what you're trying to get that movement.
It's
This little
80 to
bit.
90, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like that.
it's just you can only come if you're laid flat. I can only come there with abs, no more. As soon as I come up here, it's not on my abs anymore.
No, exactly.
And I think a lot of people don't train their abs right. Actually,
Yeah.
I think a lot of people underestimate the movement. I do it. People look at me like I'm mad, yeah. But my shot on the side's decent, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll get the cable and I'll just do this.
yeah.
And I
It's a
just
really
crunch
short
into
movement. Like it would almost
Yeah.
look, when someone's doing cable crunches properly, it would look like they're doing nothing because you'll see very minimal movement through their midsection.
Yeah.
When you
And
see
that's really
people
get
going
your
up,
bottom abs.
when you see people going up high and then the head's coming all of the way down between the legs,
Nonsense.
60% of that's not on your abs at all.
It's on the lower back, isn't it?
It's hitting those flexors. So you've got your iliacus and your psoas, and they connect your spine. They connect your spine to the inside of your hip, one of the strongest flexors in your body. So they cause your body to do that. If you lay down and you come up, they stabilize everything and they sit. They go from your lower spine into the inside of your hips, and they're like a hip flexor.
Yeah.
So when you're coming all of the way up, you're using them to pull yourself up as much as your abdominal wall.
I found a cue that really helped me on the leg raise side of things. If I'm like led down or using a hanging leg raise, I drive my heels out. Does that make sense? So instead of just trying to get my toes up, I drive my heels out slowly, and then
Right.
I'm crunching my abs up. I'm not trying to raise my feet up as high as possible. Does that make sense?
I think the main thing with abs is the breathing as well.
Yeah.
Um,
And being able to contract them. I think I was notoriously bad at that without even realizing. I thought doing that movement was doing it, but now I can make them cramp up in 3 sets.
And that's when you know they're working.
Yeah.
But I think literally, like I could sit here right now and just go, and my abs are on. I think you need to have good like mind muscle connection, if that exists. But my abs this year are way thicker, yeah. And even just hitting a normal shot, they're more visible. They're normally not that visible, but I have trained them since last year every day, pretty much. Would you recommend digestive enzymes? If yes, which ones?
If you need them.
I'm going to be honest. The number one selling one we sell on Engineered is Digest Pharma Pro. I can't knock them. They're decently priced if you're having a big meal. But I wouldn't look to use them in every meal. Or if you don't need them, don't use them. They're pointless.
I tend to tell people to take a digestive enzyme if we feel they need it. And it's a twofold argument. Digestive enzymes, if your body gets on with them, because some people don't, they will help. They are giving you more enzymes so you can digest your food better. But you won't know if you need them, and you're not going to feel if they're working. That's the problem.
How do you know, Hilly, if you need them? Tell people.
That's what I'm saying. You don't really know if you need them, and you won't know if they're working because they're just helping your food digest better. But if you put them in and you don't get stomach problems, I think it's hard to argue that they won't help because they're helping you digest your food better. However, how much they're helping is the biggest debate on the planet because there's no way of measuring how effective they're being because you can't really see your digestive tract. I don't think they'll help. They won't help digestive problems. They're not something that's going to fix you.
Probably make it worse, bro.
Well, they do. And that's what I'm saying. For some people, digestive enzymes actually upset the stomach more. They're just adding more enzymes so you digest your food a little bit better. But if your funds allow, they potentially are a useful supplement. I don't think they need to be taken with every meal like some people say. For me, I'll just usually do the first meal and the last meal. So my thought pattern there is helping you digest the food to come and helping you digest whatever's still left in your body overnight.
If
But
I had to use it, if I had to use one, I would use it at bedtime, just to try to get the bowel to move in the morning. That's my only thinking.
I think if I had felt the need to one, the first thing I would do is review my diet. And I think that's the problem with a lot of these supplements. Is like we know, we all have done this. We know we can fix our digestive issues by food choices, moving a little bit more, spacing meals out if needs be.
where there
volume
is
of food, like there's lots of things you can do.
where there is merit, and I do see people say they notice a difference, is when you've got people on a lot of food.
Yeah.
So when I'm working with people that are like 250 to 300 pounds and they're eating 6, 7, 8
protein
calories every day. So like Adam the other week, he ran out of his and he was like, I can feel the difference. Because for most of us, our bodies are producing enough enzymes to digest our food, normal amounts of food. If you are eating 5, 6, 7, 8,000 calories every day, it would be silly to not try and give your body as much assistance as you can.
And I think that's specific to massive people like Adam, isn't it? Like, let's be understand. I know he's a humongous human being, but his organs are the same size as ours. Does that make sense? Like he's ultimately force feeding to grow, or someone like myself has to eat a lot of food to grow. I think there is place for those people, but I think a lot of it can be gimmicky at times. You know, I'm just gonna buy this because it sounds cool.
It says here, which one would I recommend? I recommend JP's one. It's a good one. I wouldn't sell it if it wasn't good.
I use Digest for morning and night.
Yeah, that one. Digest Max by Strom's good. And a very, very good one, which is very expensive. Hilly will remember this one.
The gold one.
Enzyme Medica Digest Gold, which is about 60, 70 quid now, Hilly, yeah?
I used that for a while.
You will use that for a long time, but that's Digest Gold. It comes in the basic version, but the Digest Gold is the fucking most stacked panel
you've ever seen in your fucking life. It's insane. But again,
that's all that brand does.
But I think it's 60 something quid a tub, 2 a day. I think your tub might last you a month at best.
Have you run both oral and injectable slew? Did you notice much difference? I have run both. I myself am using the caps right now because I can't be bothered to jab, and I'm still seeing a very good benefit.
I'm a funny one with this slew. So everyone who listens to me know I'm a big eater and I love a cheat meal. And I often have food focus and I can eat a lot of food. When I was using the injectable slew, it would get to the point where Daisy would, because obviously Daisy's a foodie as well, and on a Friday, getting an off-plan meal was like our thing. We'd sit down and watch a movie. It would get to a point where I'm like, I can't bother to eat it, or I'd order my normal food and I'd eat half of it. Like, I'm not even joking, I'd eat half of what I would normally eat, and I'm like, I'm done. I don't need to eat anymore. No sweets, no ice cream, nothing like that. I'm done. Using the oral form, it definitely doesn't have the same effect. Now, I'm not saying my fat loss is slow, but it has not in any way, shape, or form. But the injectable slew does something to my ghrelin and hunger signaling. I can categorically tell it because I've never felt like it before. And if you guys remember,
you were taking a lot, Deck.
Yeah, I was doing 2 ml a day.
Yeah, off the 1,500 mg.
Yeah. No, the other one. The big one, the big bottle.
Yeah, so 2,000 mcg a day, you whopper.
Yeah. Yeah, I was 2 ml a day, a ml in the morning and a ml pre-workout. But for me, it worked absolutely fantastically well, and I'll order some more and run the exact same thing again. Like, it was great. But if you remember, I started playing with this in the off season, and do you remember me saying to you boys, like, something is destroying my ability to eat? And I wasn't running it in mad dosages then. I think I was doing 0.5. It was when we first all started testing it together. I was doing 0.5 in the morning, or you sent us that little bottle. We were doing like 2 IUs of it.
That was
it stopped it then.
MCGs.
Yeah, it stopped it then at that point as well. So it's good.
I think
I love it.
I've been watching all the American podcasts, and they're all on about taking it injectable.
Yeah.
And then I was trying to find a source, and I want to message them, and I'm like, no, sorry, mate, we'll keep it to the UK, thanks. What's your go-to meal day in, day out?
Chicken mince and rice.
Hilly?
Chicken and rice.
What's your go-to meal day in, day out that you have every day?
What do you eat the most of?
Well, my breakfast never changed. I have 2 eggs, either 2 pieces of white bread or 2 bagel thins because they're the same macros, and then I have 100 grams of chicken. I've had that same breakfast for God knows how fucking long, and then my go-to meal is just chicken mince and rice. I love chicken mince.
Yeah, I think my most common meal is chicken, veg, salad, rice, and mac oil.
Mac oil.
Avocado oil, yeah.
Mac oil's the one.
Top supplements on prep. I'm going to tell you straight, bro. If you can afford it to take all the antioxidants, take all of them,
I
because the
agree
more
with that.
antioxidants you take, the better you're going to be. And I'm not trying to push my own shit. Yeah, if you can
I'll
take
push it.
curcumin at high dosage, take it. BPC would be a very good one in prep, in my opinion. Even injectable or capsule form, they're both going to be very anti-inflammatory and they're going to keep the gut healthy, especially when PEDs are high.
Glutathione, and I think anything that will aid your sleep and recovery.
I
I
was
think that's the
just
one
going to say that.
everyone looks over the most. I think
Anything
sleep,
good.
yeah, especially towards that 6 weeks out where you're waking up because you're hungry. I think if you can get something that will give you a good night's sleep, I think you'll just feel fantastic in the gym. So I think that's what people don't realize is feeling like death in prep. It's a compound, it's a cascade of negatives. It's not because you're just hungry. It's the lack of sleep. Inability to recover, poor performance in the gym, that putting your mood on a bit of a downer, and all those things rolled into one is kind of what makes prep hell, you know?
Bro, legit. I know because today I'm going to go to bed late. I'm going to wake up tomorrow late. That's what Hilly said before. I'm I've been blessed enough to do that, yeah. But I don't get up until I've had at least 6 to 7 hours sleep. I'll wake up and I will check the motherfucking Aura app, and I'll be like, all right, another half an hour, and I'll go back to fucking bed. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. You couldn't tell me, you couldn't pay me to say sleep more, bro. Yeah, I love sleeping.
Whereas for me, no matter what, a time I go to bed, I've got to be at 5 o'clock whether I like it or not. Otherwise, I will not think I worked in tomorrow.
Any idea when cardiac will be back in stock next week? Carb tank used during a diet or prep phase. If you've got intra carbs, then by any means use it. Hilly actually helped me formulate that a lot, and the boys did. Yeah, 15 grams of dextrin, 5 grams of dextrose, and 1 gram of fructose.
Good
The
blend.
goal here was to allow, because most of us nowadays only use 20 to 40 gram of total carb intra. Yeah, so this here will work quite nicely. You're not getting too much of each one. That's going to then cause bloat. On top of that, if you are a big lad who wants a big intra, if you do 4 scoops, you're going to get roughly 60 gram of dextrin, 25 gram, 20 gram of 20 gram of dextrose, and 4 grams of fructose, and that's pushing the limit. So we tried to look at this blend as a 1 scoop and a 4 scoop, so it's
Yeah, I get
pretty
you. Yeah.
versatile. Yeah, because what people don't understand is it's the stacking of brands products where they fuck up.
Yeah.
Because you can't put in 10,000 mgs of Burberry in over 10 caps. It makes it confusing. Tell the consumer what they're going to get in one.
Yeah.
Then they can stagnate it up.
Yeah.
Well, that's my thinking anyway. What's your caffeine views on prep? Monster Ultra Americano coffee on a daily basis. Listen, bro, I don't have no Monster, no Coke, and I've not had them both for like 16 years.
I'm an absolute monster fucking whore, and I'd probably fight a man to the death to make sure nobody took that away from me.
Coffee for me.
I also
Coffee
love a
for
coffee.
me.
I also love a coffee.
A strong black coffee every morning.
I do coffee
And
pre-cardio every day, and then mid-morning, 11, half 11, I get a monster in, and I'm good for the day then.
I have actually not been doing coffee in the morning cardio, and I'll be using that Pit Stop Rise and Shine. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
it's only got 50 mgs of that trademarked caffeine in it, which is like a slow release. Bro, that stuff's pucker.
Yeah, I was cussing
swear
you
to
out,
God,
mate. Daisy was like, why haven't you got that new product that Riz has got? Like, sounds really good. I want to get it. And I was like, what's it called? She's like, Rise and Shine. I was like, what are you fucking talking about? If he would have told me there's a new product. And I'm looking through trying to find it. I'm like, you're just chatting shit, mate. It's the Pit Stop one. You put a video up on your story.
Yeah. No, it's good. I give it to him. This is actually a very, very good question. In bodybuilding, what's been for all of you the biggest character building moment?
Oh, that's
I
hard.
could pretty much answer this for both of you, I reckon.
I don't know, but
I don't know.
bodybuilding changed my life. Like, I'm not joking. I'm not trying to sound soft. Bodybuilding put me on a completely different trajectory of life, and it stopped me doing things that I should have been doing, and drinking and fighting and all this sort of stuff all the time. And it completely made my life to a 360, and I'll forever be grateful for that. So I think, and it was a slow burn. It wasn't like I was in it and I was in it. It was kind of like, I'm enjoying this now a little bit more. I'll skip that night out with the boys. I'll stop going out Thursday to Sunday. I'll go to the gym Thursday, Friday, and do Saturday and Sunday. And then it became the majority of my life, as well as work, as you boys know, which is a massive bulk of my life.
I think bodybuilding makes you successful in every aspect.
Yeah.
I truly do.
Yeah, there isn't one thing for me, 'cause it's not like I've won loads of big shows or I've had this or that. Bodybuilding just, in essence, give me something to focus on that I enjoy doing. My attention span is very short with everything. I'm reasonably clever. I pick up things reasonably quick. Once I pick them up, I get bored of them. I go on to something next. And I've said this over and over again, where with bodybuilding, it is never ending. I never feel as if I've learned even remotely 50% of what's there to be learned. Everybody I work with or discuss with, I'm learning something new. It was the only thing that kept my attention, that I was happy to say no to other things for. Exactly like Dex said, I wasn't straight in from the get-go. I like the party, still do now. I managed to create a good balance with it, but it's the only thing where I'd be like, do you know what it is, lads? I'm not coming out at night because I want to be with the gym. You know, I am going to come there, but I'm not going to do this. I'm only going to do this. I'm going to do that. And it creates routine. Turns out that I thrive from routine and I thrive from learning things. And it is a never-ending pool of things to learn. And
I
that is
do
why
remember one thing in my. There were times in like the early prep, especially the first one, because I really had to suffer, and I still didn't get in shape. But I really had to fucking suffer from far out because I was fat as fuck. I'm sorry, Hilly. But like those days where like you can't carry your legs and you're going fully naturally hypo, you're fucked, but you still do that 60-minute of cardio. I remember thinking, like, sat in my car, just like not even safe to drive, and I think there's nothing I can't do. Like I can overpower anything my brain or body is telling me to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, it's the same as that first show I did with that Alex, that kid from America. He had me eat the same 6 meals every day for 16 or 18 weeks. He didn't do high days. He didn't do off-plan meals. There was no clean meals. He just built my cardio up and tapered my drugs up. And hand on my heart, and I've said this over and over again, I did not put anything in my mouth at once that was not off that plan. I remember saying to my mum, Mum, I'm really sorry. I do not have the energy to even hold a conversation with you, so I'm just going to spend the next few weeks in my bedroom when I'm not at uni. Like, I didn't. The bird I was seeing was like, you just keep having the same conversation with me. I end up saying to her, listen, I'm gonna have to stop this because I haven't even got the energy to fucking spend any time with you, be in a relationship. But
The cat rubber.
honestly, right, like, but after that, everything else, every prep, everything has been a walk in the park,
Yeah.
because I would have never have dreamed. My dad said to me, he said, Pete, he said, I would have never have dreamed that you could follow something like that and suffer like that for something. Something is what he said, is something as silly as a bodybuilding show that you're not getting any money for or everything else. And he wasn't calling bodybuilding silly because Dad's a fan. He was just like, I would have never expected you, or I would have never
He was just
expected
calling me
you.
gay.
Yeah, I would have never expected you or anybody else to go to those lengths of suffering to do something like that, particularly me. But after that, I was like, well, I know I can be hungrier than everybody else. I can outwork everybody else. Doesn't matter how fucked I am. I got that shit done. So then I know I could put that into other things. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it goes full circle, doesn't it? At the start your mates are taking the piss out of you, and then they're like, you're a weirdo, grow up, get out of the gym. That's all you do is eat chicken and rice. And then this like level of respect builds for people who are not in it, and they see you walk around pilled or you're bigger, and they're like, or especially as you get older. Like now, as I've got a kid, like my brothers and that are like, how have you not knocked this on the head yet? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, type thing?
This is my life, bro.
Yeah,
And then you end up doing all of those people's diets for them.
yeah, 10, 15 times over. And I'm saying at the start, you don't have the minerals to do this.
Yeah.
I'm wasting my time, but I'll do it as a good friend, and I'll guarantee you in 4 weeks' time you're done.
Bro, it's like I think in bodybuilding, I think you have to be a little bit weird.
Gotta be fat.
None of us are like normal. I think because when I used to go to uni, and I never went clubbing, right? I went like once or twice, and I was like, this isn't for me. Ever since then, bro, I never really found a group of people that I got me. And then I met Hilly. I was like, oh, fucking hell, he's a bit like me, him, you know. And he called me my best pals. And then I met his mate guys, and I met all these other guys. And I'm like, fucking hell, they're all fucking retards, but they're all fucking sound. But on a serious note, the biggest realization to me was when D was ill, I had more fucking people. I know it's only Instagram, but it's still reality. Yeah,
it's fat. Yeah.
The amount of fucking people that messaged me and my wife who just followed us or whatever and don't even know D, yeah? Don't even know me that well. They're like, hey, bro, I hope you're doing all right. And sometimes I had some bad days, and so did D, yeah? People in the bodybuilding community, he helped. No one else did.
Yeah.
Our family members didn't give a fuck. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So yeah, it was a big moment of realization of how great our little circle is.
I think we were very lucky because at the time we got into bodybuilding was the tail end of the best part of it.
Correct.
So
We're the last of the good generation.
like I'm very lucky. I've got a fair few good friends, but the majority of my good friends that I class people as best friends, people that I could ring for anything, are from bodybuilding. I have a fair few locally as well, but I have friends that I speak to on a daily basis, like you two, a weekly basis, all over, not just over the country, but in different places in the world, purely through bodybuilding, which is insane because you speak to a lot of people our age and they'd be hard pushed if they speak to 2 or 3 mates fucking that they've known since school. Whereas for me, I constantly speak to you two, to Jordan every other day. I could write a list of people that I am very close with that is from bodybuilding. And that was because at the time, the only people into bodybuilding were people like us in general. We all love to work hard. We all love to train like idiots. We all love to take drugs. We all love to live a certain way and strive for progress and be a bit daft. And it was the majority of people into bodybuilding then were just like us. We weren't fanning about doing stupid dances for attention. We weren't moaning about bitching on our diet and you just attracted people that were the same as you. Where it's not like that now, unfortunately.
I think like when I look back now and I was doing all them shows that I lost, and I could have turned around and went sour towards bodybuilding like loads of guys do. I got smoked multiple times. When I was trying to bodybuild at uni, bro, there was no one else doing it. I was the only one. And I look back now and I'm like, fucking hell, 16 years of graft to get here. I fucking worked for it. And I've got all these other guys who say to me, oh, you still doing that gym thing? I'm like, bro, the gym thing makes me money, you prick.
Yeah, we are.
I'm flying, yes.
Yeah, mate, the gym thing that you laughed at me back then, bro, pays for me and my wife, you prick, yeah?
Yeah.
But to me, it's I owe bodybuilding a lot. I love bodybuilding. I love it now more than I ever did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like, I love bodybuilding how it was when Rich Piano was still about and he was doing all the big shows and the mad shit, and I love it.
That's why I just can't be on social media, like especially Instagram as much anymore, just because what it is now is not what I enjoy. It's not me. It's not the same thing. Like it's a completely different. It's a completely different thing. Like these kids and even these people who speak like they're authority in bodybuilding, we all know are basket cases in real life. Like I can't bite my tongue, so I just don't want to be around it or see it. Does that make sense? I mean, I've muted hundreds of people because I don't want to deal with the ask like, oh, why you unfollowed me? I thought we're pals and that sort of stuff. It's because you pretend. Like I love bodybuilding. That doesn't mean competing. Doesn't mean training. It's the whole thing of it. Like it's just part of it.
It's a lifestyle, bro.
It's a legit
lifestyle.
I always say this when people say to me, "What will you do afterwards?" I'm like, "There isn't an afterwards." Like it's not a question that my mind can fathom. If I'm not competing, I'm still running little experiments. I'm still doing this. I'm still doing that. Like I like to get up. I like to have my meals in order. I like to be learning stuff. I like to be playing with my physique. There isn't a what are you going to do afterwards. It will be something I will always. It's not even something my mind can fathom. Do you know? If I sat and tried to think about it, there's nothing else. That's what I mean. I can't even fathom it because there's nothing else that I enjoy that would keep my attention. There's nothing that I want to go and do. There's nothing that I would fancy doing. I don't sit here and think, do you know what it is? I wish I had the time to go and take up golf, or I wish I had the time to go and take up this. Like, there's nothing. I don't wish, do you know, instead of doing this, I could maybe buy cars and go to the racetrack or motorbikes. There is nothing. People go to me, would you not, instead of spending all this time doing this for clients, would you not like to go to this way in the world or there? There isn't, no. There is nothing else that I would, if I won the lottery, I'd still do the same shit.
That's what I always say to
everyone. Just with 500 IUs of growth hormone a day.
Yeah. You know, like if I won the lottery, I would just coach the people that I enjoy coaching for free, and I would still do the same shit. I would just be in a different location. I might have a gym that people could train at for free, and I'd go abroad more. But apart from that, like nothing else would fucking change. No. My car would be better.
But I love my life because I do what I love every single day.
Exactly.
If I can get to the gym and I can eat 6 times, I'm pretty fucking happy, bro.
That's a privilege. That's a It was also the other side of it, like I said, about energy balance. Like, I know I can go out with my family any day of the week for a meal and not feel guilty because I'm on point 99.9% of the time. Like, I don't have any guilt. I never put a t-shirt on and go, I feel a bit frumpy in this, or I feel uncomfortable. Do you know what I mean? I'm happy with the way I look, and it's because of the lifestyle that I live. It's
But
sad
it's
that people don't
like,
get to experience that.
I think people just, I think people try to find this good balance in it, because the balance that us lot have, it doesn't exist.
No.
Because what we're doing, it makes us happy, and that it doesn't have a balance.
It's
Like
the
Hilly,
distraction, though, isn't
Hilly,
it? This distraction gives us balance. Because what would
yeah,
you
but
be doing
Hilly's,
with yourself?
if Hilly never had Aralina right now,
Yeah.
his balance would be 100% bodybuilding.
40% sesh.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
because she's there, he has no choice.
Mm.
But that's a good balance, though. Do you understand? He's not
Yeah.
sacrificing for Aralina.
No.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? That's not
Yeah,
a
yeah.
sacrifice. That's making
And,
time for his daughter.
and that's what and that's how my mind views it as. It's not that it gets in the way of it. That's just another learning opportunity for me to say, right, how do I make this work? And it's like, so then when I'm working with people that have kids, I know how to make it work for them. Like, it's just it's another challenge that needs to be solved. It's another puzzle that needs to be completed. It just, Aralina has to have my main focus. Bodybuilding has to be there, so it has to find a way of working in. That's why I did in November and December. I'd never done full body splits before. I experimented with a full body split because instead of being in the gym 4 days a week, I only wanted to be in the gym 3 days, so I had more time with Aralina. Then I learned how to set up full bodies properly. Did I enjoy them? Did I not? To then utilize with clients in the same situations. I look at everything that needs to be done as a way of increasing my knowledge so that I can then use that with other people, use it with myself to keep progressing, to keep it better. The people are like, oh, how do I make this work? How? And they see it as a problem. For me, I just see it as another enjoyable thing to learn.
Yeah.
Another experiment.
we find the solution. People just find the problem.
Yes.
But
That's the
it's not
difference.
even a solution, is it? Like you said, if you actually enjoy it, it's just part of your day. It's just part
It
of
is,
the process.
yeah.
But like since Honey was born, like it just made me realize that those people who the social media idiots, they don't really make any progress but talk. Having Honey has made me realize how shit they must be at this. And what I mean by that is, at the start of this, like, I was as autistic as they could be. I would eat the same meals at the same time every fucking day. I would wake up at the same time, go to bed at the same time, that sort of stuff. Since Honey's been born, nothing's changed except from if I need to cram 2 meals in there, or if I need to space something out, or she needs to be fed first. She'll always get her meal first, and then I'll sit down and eat mine after, with her then picking at my plate, or like this morning, eating half of my bagel because mine was better than hers for whatever reason. It's nothing changed in my progress. Does that make sense? Like, sliding those little bits, nothing slowed down or got any different. And it just shows that those people that portray that they're absolutely on it aren't making progress. They're just not doing this in any way, shape, or form that they say that they are.
No. Right, and on that topic note, no more questions there. I need to eat and go to bed.
Like, subscribe, and yeah, we might be back.
Everything else. Yeah,
Code
we will be back.
10. Don't use any